YouTube! Great to be with you. I am so grateful. Happy Canada Day to you who watch this in the replay and everybody who comes on today. Thank you. Appreciate you. I so very much am grateful to be in this game with you, this game of life. I am truly grateful to be here. I also understand that it is a lot to ask people to step out of their comfort zone the way that I do, and yet you do it anyway, even though it is uncomfortable. And I respect that, and I appreciate that too. So I hope you will choose to sing along with me. What I am going to do is actually share the words. Oh, Olga's here. Fantastic. Hello, Olga. Awesome to have you here this morning. All right. We got 1 minute and then I'm going to do the anthem. Are you going to sing it with me? I'm going to post the words in the chat so you can sing it with me. Good morning, Olga.
Good morning, Laura. How are you?
Wonderful. And yourself?
I'm all right. Looking good in red.
Yeah?
Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day as well. I just came back, so now I can see you.
Okay.
Are you wearing red as well? Reddish.
Reddish, close.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. Well, we got 9:09, so we're going to get going. I'm just sharing the lyrics so that you can actually participate with me too. It's not going to let me do that. These ones, it's got way too many, so it won't let me post it there either. Oh, blasted.
You can share screen. Share screen.
I'll just share the screen indeed.
Yes. Share screen side by side host.
Oh, okay. Darn
it's under view.
Under view?
Yeah.
Oh, view.
View.
And then I just have speaker and gallery and full screen.
Okay. Say gallery.
That's what it's on. That
so you see us all, or speaker, see yourself. Now you can share screen. Share screen.
Yeah, I just have to pull up the lyrics. So
okay.
That I was just trying to do it because I'm posting it to Facebook and also onto YouTube, and so I want people who watch the video back to be able to actually be able to get the lyrics. But I said I was going to start singing a minute ago, and I didn't. So I gotta hustle. How are you this morning?
I'm okay, kind of slept in, but that's okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I stay very late at night.
Yes, totally understand that. All right. Well, Olga, I'm going to get onto the anthem, and you're welcome to sing along. Whether you want to be muted or unmuted, I'm going to get standing, and I'm going to do a true patriotic salute. So we've got, as you can see, there's 4 verses. So I'm just going to do them 2 at a time. We've got the first one that we're all familiar with. And then we've got the next 3 that we're less familiar with, but that have the same tune. So if you want to actually get yourself into a space where you feel comfortable, get yourself stretched so that you can make more room to allow the light to flow through you. And then we say, "Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy signs command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, true north, strong and free. From far and wide,
Oh, Canada,
we
stand
stand on guard for thee. God
God,
keep
keep
our
our
land
land glorious.
glorious and free.
Free.
Oh, Canada, we stand
We
on
stand on
guard
guard
for
for
thee.
thee.
Oh,
Oh,
Canada,
Canada,
we stand on
guard
guard
for
for thee.
thee.
Oh,
Oh,
Canada,
Canada,
where pines and
rise and
maples
maples
grow,
grow.
great
Great
prairies
prairies
spread,
spread,
and
lovely
rivers
rivers
flow.
flow.
How
Oh,
dear
dear to us,
thy
thy
broad
broad
domain
domain,
from
from
east
east
to
to
western
western
sea.
sea.
Thou
The land of hope for all
to toil,
to
thou
toil,
true
true
north,
north,
strong
and
and
free.
free. God
Oh,
keep
keep
our
our
land
land
glorious
glorious
and
and
free.
free.
Oh,
Oh,
Canada,
Canada,
we
we stand on guard
for
for
thee.
thee.
Oh,
Oh,
Canada,
Canada,
we
we
stand
stand
on
on
guard
guard
for
for
thee.
thee.
All right, verse 3 and 4. Oh, Canada,
Canada,
beneath thy
beneath
shining
the shining
skies,
sky,
may
His
stalwart
sons and gentle
gentle
maidens rise.
To keep
To keep peace steadfast
through
through
the
the
years, from
years,
east to
from
western
east and
sea.
sea.
Our
Our
only
only
native
native
land,
land,
our true
you
north,
know, strong and
free.
free.
God
God
keep
keep
our
our
land
land
glorious
glorious
and free.
and
Oh,
free.
Canada, we
Canada,
stand on guard
stand
for
on
thee.
guard for thee.
Oh, Canada, we
Oh,
stand on guard for thee.
thee.
Well done. We got one more. Do you want to do it? Ruler Supreme. Have you ever heard this
Okay.
version before, Olga?
Okay, let's go.
All right. Ruler Supreme,
Supreme,
who
who
hears
hears
humble
humble
prayer,
prayer,
hold
hold
our
our
dominion
domain
within thy
within
loving
the
care.
loving care.
Help
Help
us
us to find,
oh
oh God,
in
in
thee
thee
a
a
lasting
lasting
rich
rich reward.
reward, as
As waiting for
the
better
better
day.
day we
Yeah,
stand for.
for
We ever
thee,
stand
guard.
on guard. Sorry, Olga.
Okay.
God
God keep
our
our
land
glorious
glorious
and
and
free.
free. Oh,
Oh,
Canada,
Canada,
we
we
stand
stand
on
on
guard
guard
for
for
thee.
thee.
Oh, Canada,
We stand
on
on
guard
guard
for
for
thee.
thee.
Bravo! Happy Canada Day! Happy Dominion Day! Happy day that is not that which we think that it is. Happy day!
Happy day.
Amazing. Well, that was interesting. I messed up a couple times, and so I'm sorry for that.
I think it worked out very well.
Yeah. Well, that was fun anyway. I should check.
I can tell you one thing, Laura. Let me share something.
Okay.
Since I'm in Canada, which is 1973,
Okay.
I came from a country where country was celebrated, you know,
Yes.
through songs and hymn and all that. And so here in Canada at that time was not as much speaking of the country.
Right.
The only thing I could hear that I could relate to where I come from was the hymn, O Canada.
That was the only thing you could relate to, was the hymn of Canada?
Yeah. So then, since that time till this day, every time I hear the song, I stand up.
Woo!
No exception. When hockey was playing, you know, and my ex-husband would watch, and I would be in the kitchen fiddling with something, whatever. It doesn't matter, with the kid, anything. I drop everything and I stand from the beginning to the end.
Love
That's
it.
me.
I love it. Did you know about the other 3 verses?
No. They're different. They're different and I like them. Where did you dig this one from?
Well, interestingly, this was when I was in the mental institution. When I got shipped from Simcoe into Hamilton down the mountain, there was actually a man who, I think his name was Bill, but he called himself a gladiator or galactic council or something. Like, he was kind of probably needed to be in there, in fairness.
He could have been Galactic Council. That exists, okay?
Well, it's entirely possible.
I have proof. But
Yeah?
that's for another time.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Bill was in there and he had this book, which is actually the Strathroy Seniors Hymn Book Committee that published Sing Your Way Home. And I ended up flipping to O Canada and seeing it was 4 verses, and it tipped me off to that reality. So it just became very poignant and significant.
Tell me again who published that book?
The Strathroy Seniors Hymn Book Committee. The Strathroy Seniors Hymn Book Committee.
Wait, glasses. Closer to the camera. Freud. Senior what?
Seniors Hymn Book.
Okay, hymn book.
And then it's a committee that put it together, because that's what's required. We need committees, as you know, because you're involved with a bunch of them.
Committee, huh?
Right?
I see. This is interesting. This is good. Yes.
Yeah. I think that music is part of how we harmonize humanity. I think that that's how we start to dream the new dream together, and we get the youth on board, that we give the youth their power back. So that's why I'm actually going to be working on a mentorship component to the Album 22 project that we're launching July 22nd. So we've got 22 artists. You can find information at album22.com. And on Album 22, we've got 22 songs with about 27 contributing artists from around the globe, which is amazing, that have been gathering every other week for the most part since December to work on this and mastermind it, which is bringing 2 or more like minds together for a common purpose, which in that case is to create Album 22. And it's going to then turn into a mentorship component where we're inviting youth to be able to come and ask questions to the artists about their experiences. It's themed around mental health, suicide prevention and awareness, emotion management, and all of the work that I've been working on with the Peaceful Inner Warriors United movement, and then all of what goes into that. So I've got a video series that I created last weekend that's in editing right now with a videographer. So I'm going to have a 3-part video series plus an introduction coming. Plus then it's going to be introducing the special practice, so that then actually this month I want to work through a special practice. So if you wanted to actually be part of a workshop, we could get that going. And then
Actually, I can do something else.
what
I can include your committee under the umbrella of the council, and you work it out to get funding, to get funded.
That'd be amazing. And we've actually got one of our contributing artists, Rimini. She created a song called Future Human, super awesome song. And she actually is working on some grant applications for what happens when we settle after the lies all come out and then we're rebuilding, how to actually create from that perspective. And so I'm actually moving my screen over to show it to you so that you can see album 22, because we're pretty proud of our creative baby, and it's still loading up. There we go. So these are, so Quartz, Corsair, Path of Least Resistance, and Alicia Katroshi, Celia Adriana. Those are bonus tracks, as well as Just a Phase by New Management. But what we've got here, album 22 part 1 and album 22 part 2, right now our 22 songs are divided between those two playlists. And then you can also go down, and this line is what then divides album 22 from the bonus tracks. But Jules, we did a really cool interview. He's a very special man. He came from the Congo and faced war and faced death for 22 years before now he's over in Spain, and he spent quite a lot of time in other countries, and he's had quite the journey. Glenda, I just got her interview up yesterday, Soulution, which is exactly what needs to happen. Susie Corey, she lives in the GTA. She just released a song called Feeling Good. Or no, I Got a Feeling. And so I don't mean to divert onto album 22 here, but what I wanted to do was actually go down, and I cut in a section of her song so that you can actually hear Got a Feeling. And she actually sent me a little 15-second video clip, and Olga, she goes around with a blow-up doll. And like, she's got a feeling about the blow up doll. And that's what the whole story is based on. But she didn't just stop with the music video. She actually took this blow up doll from Toronto to California and then blew that doll up and then brought him everywhere, including over to Nashville, Tennessee. Like, she's dancing with this dude, getting other people to dance with him. So anyway, that's Susie. But Rimini, Future Human, that's what I wanted to actually share with you. So you can listen from album 22 as one of them, but it's just so sweet, and it's really good music, and it's always good to dance. Human, flying in from past, swelling up a new mixture, my history's past, hailing from many cultures, and I'm beginning to bend. Just for the 3 minutes. Or ground, no, I'm a new kind of blend. No label is set, no box I come in. One of a kind, it's me. Too late to be black, I'm screaming along with the king. And I'm too black to be white, so I can get my wings. I'm too bitter to be fabulous, and you can hear my tears when I speak. Oh, I'm a future human. I'm a future human. I am a swirl, I am a blend, I'm a future human. I am a swirl, I am a blend, I'm a future human. We try to bring a new pop, a no-star movement, a new race for humanity, and it's just called We, my friend. So if we're drawing lines in the sand and delegating sides to take, let me know which bits of me go and which bits I should fake. No label, no box I come in. One of a kind, that's me. I'm too white to be black, but I'm screaming along with the king. And I'm too black to be white, so I can go and get my wings. I'm too bitter to be fabulous, and you can hear my tears when I speak. I'm a future human. We are future humans. What do you think?
Nice.
Amazing. Well,
one thing I'll ask you,
yes.
or an institution stealing, keep in mind all those definitions and for our life, what I'm going to tell you, for our protection from soul harvesting,
Yes.
we have to touch. We have to detach from every wording, every definition of control that they've put on us.
Yeah.
And redefine it.
Yeah.
Redefine it like you were in a place of extraordinary people, or people who think differently, or place where you learn that actually you do not belong outside of norm. There is a trigger and there is a reason why no one is paying attention. Those who want to help us figure out what is the trigger and deal with the trigger. Don't deal with me. I am perfect human being. You are perfect human being. That's how the Creator created us.
Perfectly
being
imperfect.
perfect.
Perfectly imperfect, yes.
And yet something went wrong. Why went wrong? What was the trigger? We would like to know what is the trigger for it. If anyone is spending money on helping, spend money to figure out the trigger.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
The trigger, we have to... What were you going to say, Olga?
It's freezing. It's freezing. Nothing that I've said.
Okay.
I don't know if I was heard. Yeah.
Yes, I definitely heard you. And I think that the thing that people don't understand is about the 4 lower bodies and karma and reincarnation, because we've been purposely lied to about all of these things. Because if we actually understand that we're just God sparks incarnate, little fallen stars that have been incarnated into physical form. This happens to be the vessel that transports Laura J around this world. That's Olga's. And essentially, if we really understand that we're all here to become ascended masters, we're here to do what Jesus Christ, what the Buddha did, what the enlightened ones do when they actually imbue more light into the world because of how much they've been able to bring into themselves, that they've been able to clear out the shadows, that they've been able to balance the dark and the light. Parable of the 2 wolves fighting within me, and one is evil and the other is good. And then the grandson, horrified, says, well, which will win, grandfather? And he says, the one you feed. We have to be very intentional about filling ourselves with faith. Old matrix, which actually has an nature, that matrix, which means to use the nuclear family as the talk, that people get power from other people through the positions that they hold within their life. And because of that, there's a power dynamic and control dynamic that go with the family model of the nuclear model, that we've been told the nuclear war is what's going to finish us, but we never expected it to be the nuclear war model. So we have to really understand the matrix of the matrix. And that phenomenon of having the ones nearest and dearest to us do the lying to us that they don't know is a lie, which is why they tell it to us in good faith and good intention. But even still, despite that good intention, they still lie, because that's what they've been taught to do, because that was their indoctrination, because we live in indoctrination, where the doctors and the authorities and the experts are the ones that we're taught to give our power to. And before that, we gave it to our parents and our teachers and our babysitters and the adults that we were told to trust, that we were taught knew better, and therefore we could turn to them. And when I was growing up, the adults in my life happened to always have an answer that seemed to make some sense. And I thought that naturally there was just some manual or something that I was going to gain access to when I was of age. I didn't understand that I was a minor because I was actually being mined. until I reached the age of majority, at which point I needed to actually step onto land in the laws of land, air, water, and space, that I needed to understand land was common law. And so I've been sending out notices in response to the summons that I got, and I sent out my fourth one yesterday. This one now to the Lieutenant Governor of Council. So we'll see how that goes. I've given her 8 days, or I've given her until July 11th to respond, and then we'll start making claims against them before my trial, August 11th, which is when it's been now set to. And so that.
What is it they're trying you on?
Individual failure to comply, contrary to Canada's Reopening Ontario Act 2020 violation, section 10.1, I believe it was.
Oh, okay.
But I've prepared notices that address all of these things, and they essentially need all of it to be thrown out or pushed out of the court system so they don't have to address it, because they all know that what is happening is completely illegal and unlawful. And so they can't.
In my mind, after all this so far has happened, they will delay the date again. That's how I think.
Well, yeah, but I've also heard that that's partly because of the bonds that they actually are able to harvest when there is a case set up against a trust, which is the W of Maritime Admiralty law. That's where contract law comes in. And so what I understand is that they actually take out a bond, or they make a bond that then only it takes a certain duration of time, which is why oftentimes in the court system they delay proceedings. It's actually because they're waiting for the bonds to mature so that they can benefit more from the chattel that we are on the ultimate plantation.
Did you read that Strawman is at court as well?
No.
Yeah, I should find that for you.
Yeah, definitely send that over on Telegram.
Was all over the place. I thought you may have read it.
Well, as much as I'm all over the place, I am also pretty focused, and I've had a lot that I've just been kind of eyeballing, and so my attention hasn't fully been vested elsewhere. But I do want to say that we've covered the L and the W of laws. What is the A, Olga? Do you remember? Laws?
Just a minute. LWA?
Well, so it's actually, so laws, the 4 letters of laws. We covered L for land, which is common law. We covered the W for water, which is Admiralty and Maritime Contract Law.
Now we go air. Yeah.
Air. Do you know what the air stands for? It starts with an E. And it is like a big.
Yeah, I see air is air. Huh?
Canon law. Cannons. A big cannon.
Canon law.
Yeah.
Canon law. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So the A is for canon law or ecclesiastical law. W is for water, maritime, admiralty, and then contract law. And then the S is actually for space, which is where God comes into the picture. And what most people are not really talking about or fully acknowledging or recognizing is a fundamental part of law, and that we have to be acting in good faith or will be deemed acting in bad faith, which means that we've really been deceitful, and there are consequences to that in this universe of cause and effect. And then that's what I've always been saying this entire time. It's just like we all need to understand that we will be held to account for our choice as to what we do at this particular time in humanity's history. We will be judged for how we played the game at this time when we needed to play full out, because that was what was required. It's not enough for us to pretend to be less in order to make others feel comfortable. Like the poem Our Deepest Fear by Marianne Williamson, that poem very much is a reflection of the fact that we really need to understand it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We are most terrified of our power, because we understand that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And we're terrified that the law will bite us in the butt. And if we're not standing in all three jurisdictions, space is not so much covered within the court system, only because they can't qualify or reach that high. Because if you understand the hierarchy of creation, you've got God on the top, man or woman underneath of that. You've got the crown or the corporations underneath of that. Then you've got their employees, and then underneath of that, you've got the popple, or like the what do you call it?
Religions. They're religions.
Religions at the bottom.
Yeah.
Religions would be at above that, above the corporate employees.
No. I've got that pyramid. I should send you I've got the picture.
Yeah. But if we understand that, the reason
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you, Olga. But the reason that it's not called the court of laws is because space is God's jurisdiction, which is above the law, which means that the law, the court of law, can only judge on the land, air, and water, which is actually what the Bible is. The Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth, is actually how to maneuver through the laws of this natural world. So when he's actually walking in the jurisdiction of Admiralty Maritime Law. When he parts the waters to walk through it, he's parting Maritime Admiralty Law in order to walk through to common law, or to stay on common law jurisdiction. Air, right? Like land, air, water is what the court judge us on. And where people fall with common law is that they think that that is the only jurisdiction that they need to cover themselves in, when the truth is, in the court of law, you are already standing and being judged. You have a judge standing in all three of those jurisdictions, which means you need to know your own canons, because you actually have set the court of your own self. The CELL-F of your own self, which is where you fill yourself with either fear or faith, and then you command yourself with competence and confidence, that you are able to go about your business and understand what business is actually yours, the busyness or the business. And then to also understand that we are all travelers in this world who need not get commercial licenses, such as driver's license, for instance, unless we are doing that for commercial purposes, unless we put ourselves into that jurisdiction and consent to it, which means then we conform, and then we have to play by their rules because we've put ourselves into their corporation. We've agreed to do business with them, which is where the contract of Admiralty Maritime Law comes in. We agree to contract with somebody that we don't send back their terms. When I received the summons, I sent it back and said no consent. I don't consent to this charge. I didn't do anything wrong. Who was the person that was hurt? Not person, because a person is actually a trust by definition. But what man or woman was actually harmed by my choice? Because under common law, we are actually operating under the 10 commandments, essentially. But the ones that we have to adhere to is commit no harm, commit no fraud, commit no loss, and keep the peace. Those are the 4 requirements that we are really required to stand behind. And so when we understand that we are doing that, and when we are charged for something where none of these things have been breached, we have to ask, where's the trespass? Lest you be trespassing against me by making a false allegation that I do not consent to. And furthermore, I claim my rights to not consent to these things because of the reason I state clearly in written form, because that is how we use the pen to command the sacred word. And that is what becomes the sword that sets us free. Because in this pandemic, when everything is being used to confuse us and to make it so it's hard for us to make a decision, we have to really understand the power of discernment. We have to really understand how to actually stay true to ourselves, how to make sure that true north stays in line with guarding ourselves on all directions and understanding about the law and making sure that we don't let Meads versus Meads get used against us and get locked up in the mental health system where, you know, I got my book, Sing Your Way Home, so I'm grateful, and it opened my eyes to the extra passages of our anthem in the first place. But at the same time,
can you take a snapshot from the cover and
I've already
post
posted
it here?
I've already posted it over onto the Meetup group, Olga. So you can actually find it under the Meetup group because I copied and pasted it right to there.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, it's good.
Do you have access to that group?
Maybe not exactly, but since I have been in touch with you and you organize this event through Meetup, so I guess yes, I am.
Yeah.
But generally Meetup, I'm aware because of some other programs and seminars over the years. You know?
Okay. Oh, cool. Perfect. Yeah. So in terms of, I'm just posting that over to Facebook. I don't know that anybody's even actually seeing it over on Facebook. I'm shadow banned on so many places because of my message and the good nature of it. So,
so that's, you know, when you're being banned or shadowed, that means you've made it.
Yeah, right? That's so funny. The irony they never tell you about, you know, become a success so that they can pretend you don't exist.
Yeah, no, they're being nice to me. They keep warning me, telling me how many strikes I have. If you post this one, we'll take you off. Say, okay, I'm not posting. I don't want to take off.
Surprisingly, I don't really get any messages like that. I have only ever had one issue, but I don't really.
I'm privileged one there, you know.
Yeah, right. Well,
I'm. You know how they do? They do sampling.
Okay.
So I am in their sampling. I'm in that category to be warned.
Oh, okay.
It's their AI, you know.
Got it.
See how I react to it.
Right.
And they put strikes every time. Oh, she reacted this way, that. Part of their testing. Yeah.
Crazy. It's just
nothing
one
special.
Giant science experiment.
Nothing that we don't know, eh?
It's one giant science experiment. It's so absolutely insane that you don't even understand how to quantify it. But anyway, in terms of today, we covered a lot of ground in terms. We sang the anthem together, so thank you for singing stoically with me, Olga. And definitely,
I would like to hear it. Let's see, because I'm doing it on my phone.
Yeah,
I was late to wait for my computer to load. My computer is iMac and it's got very good sound. Here on the phone, I'm not too sure what I'm getting, but let's see. When you post it, we will hear it.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Well, I think in future, I think what we'll do is I might just almost record it. It's difficult when people are at different paces. Like record it beforehand. You know what I mean? Because if like I didn't want to rush you, but like you were going at a different pace. So then trying to figure out how to accommodate.
No, listen, we are original here because we did not test it. We did not try it out. We did not practice.
No.
We're original. Whichever way it comes, it's original.
Yeah.
Comes from the heart.
Yes, it definitely
And I believe the viewer will be able to see that.
Yes. Well, yeah? I appreciated the heart that you brought to singing the anthem and to sharing your story of patriotism as well, Olga. And then, you know, with everything that we're learning about common law, it's like, how does that fit into actually staying proud to be Canadian?
That is common law in Canada is our given right by the Queen. But is not very much promoted because the bar is in power here and they will not promote amongst the citizens. It's up to you and I, up to us to figure out yes, we do have rights under the common law. We do have rights to object certain things that are being done.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's there. It's there for us. And this is not something about the common law. It's not something that someone has to go to law school to learn it.
Yeah.
Every citizen, they need to start teaching it from, let's say, grade 5 and up. In high school should be a subject. That's how you function in the society. And yeah, it's been hush hush, like you're not talking about it now. You know?
Well, yeah, because we're always told to leave it to the professional. It's that culture of absconding personal responsibility for the sake of doing what everyone else is doing. So it's how the tribe has always been used with herd mentality to keep the individuals in line. And what we found through this plandemic, or the pandemic, however you want to look at what is playing out now, you know, we've all got varying perspectives on it based on how much we knew about what was going on before we actually got here, and then how much research we did in the last year, and then who we connected to. And it's like competing belief systems at its finest. And so really being able to understand the truth, not just about what we're told, but about how that feels when we're told it, because truth has a resonance. And if we understand how to actually read the energies that are showing up for us, that are showing up as signs, symbols, omens, that's how the universe communicates with us. If we're able and willing to actually learn how to read all of that, it becomes a far superior experience to be able to navigate all of the systems, because systems are designed to save yourself significant time, energy, money, and more. So that's the acronym for system. And then if we understand that the acronym for team is time, energy, effort, attention, and money, then we can really start understanding law, land, air, water, space, God's jurisdiction, above man, but above the queen or the crown, the corporation and government councils, and then the corporate employees at the bottom, and then the citizens at the very bottom. Because if we're citizens, then we're already subjects to the king's council and reign and rule. And we then enter into that dynamic where the king's hand is where the king then is able to go have some fun with somebody to step in. Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones, for instance. And then the subject is the citizen who is bound to the king's rules. But when we're in commerce, when we're trading, we can come into other people's lands, other businesses, if we have an agreement with that business. And that's what's happening right now with us, because we are our own trading vessel. We are an energetic entity that is going around trading energy with people all the time. It's why the law of the garbage truck is so poignant. And it's like, I read it in an email 20 years ago, and I always still think of it, because it's like people are running through their day, driving around, loading up with garbage from everything that they come into contact with. And sometimes they need to offload that garbage. And oftentimes they'll do it with an outlet such as you. Because if you're receptive, if you care, if you're empathic, if you're empathetic and you actually feel other people's feelings, you can tell when they're carrying weights and burdens that they don't need to be carrying around. And then when they offload it onto you and then you choose to wear it, it's like you then become a garbage truck that's running around your day, loading up on garbage and offloading onto others. Or we can actually create practices that help us really manage our own team well, on the inside and on the outside. And when we can truly do that, that's how we really kind of step into our role as men and women that are just one step below God as the individuated expressions of that grand overall designer in physical form, driving around in somebody else's kingdom only because they've claimed that kingdom. But we are in ourselves kings and queens within this kingdom that we're either going to play dumb with, or we're going to be the king and queen, having both of those sat solidly on the inner soul throne. of our own inner kingdom. And when we start thinking about ourselves in terms of royalty, the way that we truly can and must in order to even consider being sovereign, not sovereign citizens, which is actually an oxymoron, might I add, because a sovereign has no ruler, whereas a citizen is governed. So to put those together is oxymoronic. And those are examples that are used within the Medes versus Medes case, which the Medes versus Medes case is exactly what is used against anyone that tries to advocate for ourselves as common law. Because what they did is that they created a whole case to, they called it organized pseudo-legal arguments, and it's OCPA or something like that. But anyway, or it's OPCA. It's OPCA is what it's called, organized pseudo-legal CA. Anyway, I can't remember, but it's OPCA litigants is what they put anybody that advocates for themselves under common law, because, well, Olga got kicked off. So, yeah, that was a real disconnection. There was an energetic shift that took place in that moment that I got completely confused and Olga got cut off, which is very interesting. So this is what I mean about paying attention to the signs, symbols, and the omens. Because you can either look as if something happened and it made it so that Olga either chose to get off or she got disconnected, or you can look at it as if it was a miracle and as if there was a reason behind it. So you can look at life as if nothing is a miracle or as if everything is a miracle. And in the scheme of things, we're going to be right, because we get what we expect in this life, and we're not being taught that. We're not being taught how to be responsible leaders of ourselves and to really shift it just from the self-image part of the SELF and then make it about the CELL-F of the one who is either filled with faith or fear. That's what we must draw near to our hearts, our minds, and our hands. And when we actually combine the force of our head, heart, and hand through decrees, which is a very powerful tool, O Canada, the hymn itself being another. So I hope that you enjoyed that this morning. I would like to try it again, to be honest, just for the recording purposes. So I'm going to do that, and it's 9:56. So I'm going to stand up again, and so that you can see it if you are in fact on Meetup. So this is exciting. Woo! I love it. All right. So here we go. Here we go. I hope you're well. It's time. Oh, Canada. Okay. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, where pines and maples grow, great prairies spread and lordly rivers flow. How dear to us thy broad domain from east to western sea. Thou land of hope for all who toil, thou true north, strong and free. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, beneath thy shining skies, may stalwart sons and gentle maidens rise to keep thee steadfast through the years from east to western sea. Our own beloved native land, our true north, strong and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Ruler supreme, who hearest humble prayer, hold our dominion within thy loving care. Help us to find, oh God, in thee. Help us to find, oh God, in thee a lasting rich reward. As waiting for the better day, we stand on guard. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. There we go. So that is Canada. Oh, Canada, twice in one morning. I hope you liked it. I hope you leave a comment. And if you care to share it with anyone else, then I would appreciate it. And Olga too, because she was a great part of today. Thank you very much. I hope that you are well. I hope you have a good one. And now I say to you, swell. Swell off. Enjoy your day. Go. Flood forth and touch others in appropriate ways only. And just have some fun and enjoy the sun and let it kiss your skin the way it's meant to. And if you want to have some block that's healthy too, then just add some coconut oil onto you and you will find that you glisten under the rays and in the process too. Your skin gets to be fed and it's pretty delicious to be smothered in velvet. I love coconut oil and it's super good for you. And it's a I call it cooking oil because I wear it to the beach, but I also cook with it. So, ha ha ha. Funny, funny, funny. Anyway, that's my funny. Lord J, namaste. Sending big love. Appreciate your shares and also appreciate your commenting. Let me know where you're at, what would be helpful, what spiritual questions you've got, what you've got going on in your own life, how I could be of greatest service in terms of sharing content, because that's really what I am best at as a content creator, with a spiritual approach to life generally. An empowerment coach that is here to remind you that you are the one you've been waiting for. You have the power within you. And when you believe in yourself, anything is possible. I was told that years ago, and it truly is true. So that's the true lie that you can believe. And then also remember that life is a process of forgetting much of what we were taught in order to remember what we always knew. And we're not taught because that's not convenient. It's not convenient to help citizens understand their power to actually govern themselves. Because when they become sovereigns within a land that is also said to be sovereign, then who is the true sovereign is the thing that the law says. is important for them to be able to decide. And what we have to understand is that we have as much power as the system does. It's just we have to actually exercise that power responsibly over and for ourselves. So I hope this message today will help you in being able to do that. And once again, I do appreciate you. Send huge love and peace out, peace in. Namaste. Laura J. Have a good one. Have a good